All right, let's dive right into this explainer of the Wellness for Life Academy's foundation track. Today, we're exploring a self-paced online training program that is actually built around the realities of real Indian homes, not just abstract textbook theory. We're going to map out exactly how this curriculum aims to help parents navigate those daily and, let's be honest, sometimes completely exhausting family challenges by building really practical, functional habits. So, we begin with a very quiet but incredibly relatable problem. You know that 11 p.m. internal thought? The one almost every Indian parent has whispered to themselves alone in the kitchen after a particularly tough evening? It usually sounds something like, "Am I raising a difficult child? Or am I just doing something wrong?" The source material hits the nail on the head here. It notes that a lot of us feel like we're fiercely loving our kids while simultaneously just improvising every single day. Picture this totally familiar contrast. It's 7:40 p.m., and your 4-year-old is having an absolute meltdown because they wanted the red cup but got the blue one. Fast forward to 11 p.m., and you're stuck in a guilt spiral, frantically Googling, "Why does my child scream?" The program suggests a fascinating perspective shift here. A child's meltdown isn't necessarily a sign of bad parenting. Actually, it's often just a brain that is still very much under construction.
Now, what does the other side of this challenge actually look like? Well, the source material gives us this brilliant, perfectly ordinary example. Imagine two different homes in the exact same spilled glass of water. In one home, a frustrated father snaps, telling his child to go sit in the corner. In the other, a mother just kneels down to eye level and calmly says, "Oops, let's wipe it together." It's a tiny 90-second interaction, but over time, it builds an entirely different response in the child's brain.
Here's the really crucial point, and honestly, it's a huge relief. This training does not promise some dramatic overnight transformation, and it definitely doesn't guarantee an instantly perfect household. Instead, it focuses heavily on steady, kind of unglamorous habit building. The whole goal is to fold small, practical improvements into perfectly ordinary moments, like wiping up a spill on a random Tuesday evening.
So, what's the science behind all this? To break it down simply, the source introduces a framework they call the Brain-Body Behavior Method. Think of it as a roadmap. It's designed to help you map out your child's current brain development stage and recognize physical needs, things like sleep, nutrition, and movement, that are often secretly driving the behaviors you're seeing on the surface.
And this timeline right here, this is behavioral science in action. Literally, it moves from a cue or a trigger at 0 seconds to a connection or routine at 45 seconds, and finally to a resolution at 90 seconds. The program calls this the Calm, Connect, Coach order, and it's presented as a highly efficient way to diffuse those really tense moments before they escalate.
The curriculum is actually grounded in established neuroscience, specifically pointing to Dr. Diana Baumrin's foundational research on parenting styles. Her findings show that balancing warmth with clear, consistent structure just outperforms every other approach in the long run. It's a really solid, evidence-based framework to add to your everyday toolkit.
Okay, let's see how this progressively builds as you go through the program. The course is broken down into 8 modules, taking about 40 minutes each. Step 1 tackles that neuroscience and physical wellness we just talked about. Step 2 is super interesting. It shifts the focus back to you, having you conduct a real-time stress and income audit. And finally, Step 3 helps you assemble all of this into a living, personalized parenting plan.
Structurally, the foundation track equips you with some very specific tools to support this whole process. We're talking 8 handouts, hands-on trackers, WhatsApp trainer support, and a few other things. But remember, the function of these tools is to act as your practice ground for developing awareness. It's not a magic wand that's going to guarantee specific behavioral results.
And the whole point of this sequence is that you aren't just sitting there absorbing textbook theory forever. By Module 6, the course asks you to take everything you've learned and turn it into a daily checklist and a style blueprint. It's all about translating that research into a completely functional plan designed exclusively for your own household.
Now, looking at the proof provided in the source material, we see some pretty interesting data points. According to the Academy's own documentation, over 1,200 Indian parents have been guided through this exact framework. That's a lot of real-world testing.
The curriculum, as I mentioned, is efficiently organized into an 8-module sequence, and the source specifically highlights that this structure was designed to fit around the busy realities we all know too well: the chaotic school runs, the demanding work commitments, and just everyday family life.
The source also notes an average parent rating of 4.8 out of 5 stars,
Now, it's important to frame this as verifiable feedback based strictly on the lived experiences of past participants. This allows you to evaluate the program's potential fit for yourself rather than taking it as a universal guarantee of success. To really help you evaluate that evidence, the source provides some great specific case examples that read more like mini-stories. Take this feedback from Priya in Coimbatore. She reported a highly recognizable shift in her evenings after applying that Calm Connect coach order. She notes that the day she stopped trying to reason with her son mid-meltdown and just breathed with him first, that was the shift. Everything changed.
We also have this fascinating example from Suresh in Bengaluru. He originally thought his 7-year-old daughter had a major concentration problem, but Module 3 prompted him to check her physical foundations first, specifically her sleep hours. According to his feedback, once they fixed her bedtime, the complaints from her teacher about her being distracted stopped shortly after. It's wild what a little extra sleep can actually do.
And this one? I found this one absolutely striking. Anita from Chennai highlighted Module 5. She noted that auditing her own stress, literally naming her money and time stress out loud on paper, subtly improved her daily interactions with her kids. She said it simply took a hidden weight off her chest she didn't even know she was carrying.
It is just really important to reiterate that this evidence rests on verifiable foundations. Baumrine's science, a 0 to 18 brain development timeline, and a design built specifically for Indian families. These examples aren't pulled from sterile labs. They're drawn from familiar hurdles, right down to dealing with a relative's unsolicited comments at a family function.
So, if you are weighing this program for your own personal development, the Academy's invitation is to just start with a free Clarity Masterclass session. It's designed to be a simple 30 to 45-minute conversation. It is absolutely not a high-pressure sales pitch. This one-on-one call basically aims to let you talk through your child's specific age and stage. You even get to review the real Module 1 handout and discuss live cohort fees and start dates with absolutely no obligation. The whole goal is just to ensure all your questions are answered before you make any commitment to the full 8-module course.
I absolutely love the messaging from the program's documentation here. It warmly suggests you don't need a perfect week. You need the framework and 40 minutes to begin. It's such a practical, relieving reminder that waiting for a completely stress-free week to start building better habits usually means you'll just be waiting forever.
So, as we wrap up this explainer on the Wellness for Life Academy's foundation track, I want you to take a moment and reflect on that brain-body behavior method we explored today. Ask yourself, if you could shift just one tiny 90-second habit in your home tomorrow, where would you begin?